epidemic marriages increase that more.
Component because it was disadvantage.
Goedemiddag dames en heren, hartelijk welkom bij onze eerste plechtigheid van hierdie Aprilgrade week. Good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to you all. Please allow me just to make a few announcements. Ons sê baie dankie vir u begrip dat ons ongelukkig die aantal kaartjies per seremonie moet beperk en dat ons mense in die oorlooplokale moes laat sit. Dit het te make met veiligheidswetgewing en ons moet eers bepaal of ons almal kan inkry. Ons weet nie voor die tyd hoeveel gradiandi wel opdaag nie, want sommige ontvang in absentia maar hulle laat weet nie. Maar vandag kon ons almal van die oorlooplokale reeds in die saal insluit, maar nogtans baie dankie vir u begrip. One of the reasons that we have a population certificate that limits this venue to 3,000 people at a time is for safety reasons. So if there should be an emergency situation, please leave the center via the exit closest to you and then congregate on the rugby field here to my left between the Kutsenberg Center and the Dani Craven Stadium. We request that you please do not switch your cell phones off, but just put it on silent so that you can participate in social media. We have Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, #SUGrad, and on Twitter also @MartyStudents. If you have family and friends somewhere, anywhere in the world really, and they would like to follow this event, they can do so via the university's website at www.sun.ac.za/streaming. That sun is SUN. www.sun.ac.za/streaming. Ladies and gentlemen, we request that you please do not leave the venue before the ceremony has been concluded. Ons vra dat u asseblief medegaste en gradiandi sal respekteer en vir die duur van die seremonie in die saal sal bly. U het seker gesien dat daar koffie en tee en allerlei dinge te koop is en u sal ook genooi word om vonkelwyn of sap te geniet saam met die alumni verhoudingsspan. Niks sal tydens die gradeplegtigheid bedien word nie, so bly maar asseblief tot heel aan die einde. Daar word van dese week formele foto's geneem hier op die verhoog en dan ook informele foto's wat op die sosiale media geplaas gaan word, so kyk gerus volgende week of jy jouself iewers herken. It is very important that you complete the card that you've received with your graduation details. Write on the back and provide your email address. Make sure that it's not your Stellenbosch University address if you are no longer on campus, but your private email address. That will then go to the photographers, the official photographers, and they will send you proofs of the photographs being taken on stage, and then you can select and order them. Die toiletgeriewe is onder die verhoog. Aan my regterkant onder is die dames en aan die linkerkant die mans. We also have paramedics on duty if you should need medical attention. We do have some doctors and nurses in the house, but today it's their special day. The paramedic is situated right at the back next to our camera team, and there's also a first aid office underneath the stage. Please make use of that if you have the need. We request that you do not move into the area amongst the instruments, the musical instruments that will be left in the hall. Afterwards, when you perhaps take photographs in the front of the venue. As u moontlik iets verloor, motorsleutels, selfone of iets optel wat nie aan u behoort nie, daar sal personeel hier agter my rug in die voorportaal wees. U is welkom om daar te kom navraag doen of om enigiets wat u optel daar in te handig. Ons sal ons bes probeer om dit met die eienaar te herenig. If we should have a power outage, please remain seated. We have generators on standby. And we will proceed with the graduation ceremonies. Ons graduandi sal nie vandag sonder hulle grade huis toe gaan nie. Die akademiese prosesie is gereed om die saal binne te kom. Please rise and remain standing until after the singing of the National Anthem.
Ons begin die verrigtinge met die sing van die nasionale lied wat u op die binneagterblad van die program vind. We will begin the proceedings by singing the National Anthem. which you will find on the inside of the back cover of the program.
Die blauw van onze hemel, uit de diepte van ons hart, waar ons eeuwige gedacht is, waar die grootste antwoord geeft. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us love and strive for freedom in South Africa.
U mag maar die plekke inneem. Hiermee verklaar ek hierdie kongregasie van die Universiteit Stellenbosch behoorlik geconstitueer. I hereby declare this congregation of the Stellenbosch University duly constituted. Dames en here, aan die begin van hierdie gradeplegtigheid is ons as akademiese gemeenskap, ouers, gades, familie en vriende diep dankbaar vir die voorreg om vandag hier te kan wees, om saam ons gradiandi se sukses te kan vier. Ek nooi u daarom uit om net so te bly sit, terwyl ons vir 'n gewyde oomblik stil word en ons dankbaarheid betuig, elkeen in ons eie ruimte van verskillende sekulêre en godsdienstige lewensbeskouings. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of this graduation ceremony, we as academic community, parents, spouses, family and friends, are deeply grateful for the privilege to be here today to celebrate our graduates' success. To this end, I invite you all to remain seated while we observe a devotional moment, granting each other the space to express our gratitude according to our various secular and religious perspectives. Dankie dames en here. Thank you ladies and gentlemen. So goeiemiddag. Hartlik welkom by hierdie grade en diploma plegtigheid van die Universiteit Stellenbosch. Ons vertrou dat u die verrigtinge sal geniet. Good afternoon ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to this graduation ceremony and trust that it will be a memorable experience for our graduates, family and friends alike. So gun my asseblief 'n paar spesiale verwelkomings aan die volgende persone. meneer Johannes Hermanus Hugo Coetzee, of dalk is die naam beter bekend, Jan Boland Coetzee. Welkom ook aan sy familie en vriende wat vandag saam met ons erkenning gee aan sy bydrae tot die samelewing met die toekenning van 'n eregraad. Welkom aan Dr. Jetta Bolt, 'n besoeker aan van die Rijksuniversiteit Groningen in Nederland. En dan ook welkom terug aan professor Leopold van Huisteen, die US se vorige uitvoerende bedryfshoof en sy familie, wat by ons aangesluit het vir die toekenning van 'n doktorsgraad aan die egpaar se dogter Carina Berner. Ons het ook raadslede vandag hier by ons plegtigheid. Welkom aan professor Andrei Coetzee. Welcome to another member as well of our University Council, Professor Yusuf Chikta, who also is a member of the Higher Education Quality Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, here at Stellenbosch University, we believe that multilingualism is an asset. And in the spirit of mutual respect for languages and cultures, inclusivity, and a welcoming culture that we are fostering at our institution, I request Dr. Zameka Sejadu to direct a few words of welcome in isiXhosa.
Molweni manene namanenekazi. Siyanamkela kulomsitho wothweso sidanga. Sithemba ukuba uyakuhlala uhleli ezinkumbulweni zabathweswayo, kwiintsapho zabo nezihlobo ngokunjalo. Manene namanenekazi, siyakuzama kangangoko ukuwabiza amagama enu ngokuchanekileyo. Sithembisa ke ngoko ukuba izithwalandwe zethu zizilungiselele kangangoko. Linyani yona elokuba sonke silapha nje sisuka kwiindawo ngeendawo, zeli nakweza ngaphesheya, nto leyo ethi sineelwimi ezahlukileyo. Ngenxa yoko ke siyacela ukuba nisinyamezele xa nifumanisa ukuba amagama neefani zenu, ingakumbi ezo zineziqhakancu, zibizwa gwenxa. Siyaxolisa. Siyabulela kakhulu ngentsebenziswano zeyenu. Sithemba ukuba niyakuwonwabela lo msitho. Khululekani, khululani iibhatyi zenu kusekhaya apha. Enkosi kakhulu.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sejadu. Ek sal nou aan die kandidaat wat aan my voorgestel word, die betrokke eredoktorsgraad verleen. Na verlening van die graad sal die eregradiatus geleentheid kry om kortliks op die toekenning te antwoord. I will now confer on the candidate who will be presented to me the relevant honorary doctorate. After conferment of the degree, the honorary graduate will get the opportunity to respond briefly to the award.
Meneer die visie-kanselier, ek het die eer om aan u voor te stel Johannes Hermanus Hugo Coetzee, oftewel Jan Boland Coetzee, met die versoek dat hy aan hom die graad dokter in die natuurwetenskappe in landbou, DSc Agric honoris causa, sal verleen. Die Raad en die Senaat het op grond van die volgende oorwegings besluit om aan hom hierdie graad toe te ken. Met meer as 50 Stellenbosse druiweoeste agter die rug, het Jan Boland Coetzee hom as 'n leier in tegnologiese maatskaplike en bestuursontwikkeling in die Suid-Afrikaanse wynbedryf bewys. Hierdie voormalige Springbok rugbyspeler is ook 'n gewaardeerde alumnus en vriend van die Universiteit Stellenbosch. Coetzee, 'n boerling van Porterville aan die Weskus, verwerf in 1968 sy BSc Agric met wingerd en wynkunde en chemie as hoofvakke, nadat hy reeds die vorige jaar sy eerste oes as wynmaker op die Stellenbosse plaas Kanonkop beleef het. In 1980 koop hy die plaas Friesenhof in Paradyskloof, waar hy sedertdien van die beste wyne maak wat Suid-Afrika al ooit opgelewer het. Ladies and gentlemen, Jan Boland Coetzee's contribution to the wine industry goes far beyond that. Aside from his extensive knowledge of terroir in South Africa and Europe, he has a special ability to identify the origin of wines. He has spent a lifetime advocating for South African wines that reflect the uniqueness of the region and the African continent, and he played a key role in securing international recognition for our wines. As one of the founder members of the Cape Winemakers Guild, he has selflessly shared his winemaking expertise through the Guild's protégé programs for viticulture and oenology. These involved a series of internships with members of the Guild, offering young people an opportunity to learn from the best in business. Dames en here, omdat hy die waarde van 'n gelukkige en gesonde arbeidsmag verstaan het Coetzee die landelike stigting in die 1970s help skep. Saam met ander toonaangewende wynboere het hy hierdie platform gebruik om die werks- en leefomstandighede van werkers op die plaaslike wynplase te verbeter. Dit was so suksesvol dat die konsep oor die res van die land versprei het. Toe die stigting sy deure sluit, het Coetzee sy maatskaplike inisiatiewe vir plaaswerkers deur bedryfsprogramme en privaat pogings op sy plaas Friesenhof voortgesit. Op sportgebied het hy Mati en Stellenbosse rugby uiteindelik langer as 50 jaar gedien. Eers as 'n hoog aangeskrewe Mati-speler, toe afrigter en later as ondervoorsitter van die Stellenbosse rugbyklub, die tweede oudste in die land. Coetzee het die groen en goud die eerste keer op 29 gedra en hy vergestel steeds die waardes van Springbok rugby en word sy insig in die spel wyd geloof. As een van die aanvoerders van die Instituut vir Wingerd en Wynwetenskappe, 'n gesamentlike onderneming van die wynbedryf en die IS, werk hy onverpoost om te sorg dat die instituut onafhanklik bly, doch met voorpuntnavorsing van sy alma mater die geleenthede benut. Hy was ook 'n waardevolle mentor vir opeenvolgende agriwetenskappe dekane en die departementele voorsitters. Sy spesiale vriendskap met die IS en die fakulteit agriwetenskappe duur steeds voort. Ladies and gentlemen, Jan Boland Coetzee embodies the work ethic, inquiring mind, and engaged citizenship that Stellenbosch University wishes to instill in all our graduates. His pursuit of excellence in his field, as well as his generosity of spirit, is worthy of the university's highest honor. Meneer die vice-kanselier, ek versoek u nou om die graad dokter in die natuurwetenskappe in landbou, DSc Agric honoris causa, aan Johannes Hermanus Hugo Coetzee te verleen vir sy uitlewing van uitnemendheid in tegnologiese en bestuursontwikkeling in die Suid-Afrikaanse wynbedryf en in die produksie van pyk Suid-Afrikaanse wyne en ook vir sy ruimhartigheid van gees deur sy onbaatsigtige toewyding aan kennisoordrag en deur sy betrokke burgerskap om die werk- en leefomstandighede van plaaswerkers te verbeter.
Ek verleen aan u, Johannes Hermanus Hugo Coetzee, die graad dokter in die natuurwetenskappe en landbou honoris causa.
I can tell you exactly how I feel now. And that was a donkey with a cowboy saddle on its back. Dis vir my 'n baie besondere voorreg en met groot dankbaarheid dat ek hierdie toekenning aanvaar aan die regterkant van die eerste rivier. Aan hierdie kant van die rivier, veral omdat dit ook is waar die Coetzes in 1679 'n lapie grond van der Stel gekry het. My mense by die huis sê ek moet sê gekoop, anders vat hulle dit miskien terug. Is dit tog vir my besonder om te dink 280 jaar later het die eerste Coetzee van die plaas af na Stellenbosch gekom. En feitelik almal het gekom in die landbou studeer. Ek het my neef gevolg en so het die ander manne daarna gekom. Minder het ek geweet dat dit ook die plek is waar ek my mentor sou raakloop. En ek is nou 56 jaar hier op Stellenbosch, maar eintlik maar op Koetsenburg. Want my mentor het gesorg dat ek die meeste van my tyd die kant van die rivier spandeer. En dan wil ek sy versigtig net aan hierdie jonge mense oordra. Hy het altyd vir ons gesê, wat 'n eer, ek het ook op Stellenbosch studeer. En dan kan hom nou nog hoor sê, hoeveel keer hy vir ons gesê, take pride in what is ours. En as julle vanmiddag verbyry, daar by die klubhuis of by Koetsenburg, dan kan julle hom maar groet, hy staan daar. Dan is die hele klompie van my vriende. Hulle is almal vandag hier, nie almal nie, maar 'n klompie van hulle. En natuurlik die 3 girls in my lewe, hulle is ook hier. En ek wil maar net sê, dankie vir die voorreg van saamloop, vriendskap en ondersteuning. En dan sonder twyfel my personeel by die huis. Al wat ek kan sê, julle is die heroes. En dan wil ek ook sommer vir almal my vriende en hulle sê, dankie vir die vermaning, dat 'n mens maar op die trappies moet hou, en pas op vir die leere langs die pad, want dan kan jy miskien afneek. Aan my alma mater en die landboumense, of moet ek liewer sê agriwetenskappe, wat oor baie jare geskuur en geskaaf het, wil ek graag die Fransmanse Marcel Proust se aanhaling aanhaal. The real voyage of discovery lies not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. En dan na bo, dankie vir die voorreg van ontvang, lewe en leer. En weer vir die jong mense wat hier sit met die groen bande, wat hulle lewens gaan begin. Ek het by 'n ou Fransman in Wourommene gekom. En ek kan nie woorde so goed onthou, hy het obviously in Frans gesê, maar ek het dit nou in my Engels, want ek hou van Engels praat. En hy het gesê, what counts in a man is his dreams. Dankie.
Dankie Dr. Coetzee. Dames en here, voordat ons nou oorgaan tot die toekenning van die verskillende kwalifikasies, luister ons graag vir oulaas vanmiddag na ons eie musiektalent. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stellenbosch University Wind Ensemble and the SU African Music Ensemble with Wendy Joy Crowley as vocalist will now provide us with a musical interlude.
Sometimes alone in the evening, I look outside my window at the shadows in the night. I hear the sound of distant crying, the darkness multiplying, and weary hearts denied. All I feel is my heartbeat, beating like a drum, beating with confusion. All I hear are the voices telling me to go, but I could never run, 'cause in my African dream, there's a new tomorrow. My African dream is a dream that we can follow. Now when the night begins to fall, I listen for your call, I listen for your heartbeat. Alone, my dream is just a dream, another false illusion, a shadow in the night. All I want is for our hearts to be beating just as one, to silence the confusion. Then the pain and the illusion will disappear again, and we will never run, 'cause in my African dream, there's a new tomorrow. My African dream is a dream that we can follow. And this dream, my hope is an illusion. My African dream is an end to the confusion. Whoa, 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 my way to Africa. Nimeko sasa ilishe, ego Africa. Sizoni Rwanda Africa. My way to Africa. Nimeko sasa ilishe, igugu Africa, zizone Rwanda lama Africa.
Dames en heren, die Universiteit Stellenbosch is symfoniese blaasensemble onder leiding van Pamela Keerman. Die US Afrika Musiekeensemble onder leiding van Nkobakazi Mnkwane, samen met solist Wendy Joy Crowley, gaan ons nou verlaat. Ladies and gentlemen, a heartfelt thank you to our Stellenbosch University musicians for entertaining our guests here this afternoon. Let's give them another round of applause as they will now be leaving the hall. Dames en heren, die universiteit het verlede jaar sy eeuwwording gedenk. En van dese week, eintlik vandag, die 2 April, word ons 101 jaar oud. So julle is dus deel van 'n uitgeleese groep, want van dese week vind die eerste grade plegtighede van Maties se 2de eeu plaas. So exactly 100 years ago, In April 1919, Stellenbosch University awarded its first degrees, having been established out of Victoria College the year before. And here you are, a century later, about to receive your qualification from an institution that has stood the test of time, because universities are truly institutions for the ages. Van dese week ken die universiteit 3128 kwalifikasies toe, insluitend 953 meesters en 158 doktorsgrade. Ons is besonder trots op julle wat vandag gradueer en op die bydrae wat ons saam tot vooruitgang en ontwikkeling lewer. Nie net in ons eie land nie, maar ook elders op ons vasteland en in die res van die wêreld. Dames en here, ek sal nou aan die kandidate wat aan my voorgestel word, die onderskeie doktorsgrade verleen. I shall now confer on the candidates who are presented to me the respective doctoral degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, we try our best to pronounce everyone's names correctly. And I have it on good authority that our deans have been diligently practicing. But the reality is that we have graduate staff and guests from many different backgrounds and language groups, also from beyond South Africa's borders. So I really do request your understanding and tolerance for the fact that we may sometimes find the pronunciation of each other's first names and surnames somewhat of a challenge.
Meneer Divisie-kanselier, ek versoek u om die graad dokter in die wysbegeerte in die fakulteit Agriwetenskappe aan die kandidate wat ek aan u voorstel te verleen. Die betrokke promotor sal telkens 'n kort verklaring oor die proefskrif doen. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I request you to confer on the candidates whom I will present to you the degree Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of AgriSciences. The supervisor concerned will give a brief outline of the dissertation. Adrian Richard Adams, with supervisor Dr. Kathy Clark.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, humification reactions stabilize carbon in soils by converting biomolecules into dark, high molecular weight humic substances. This study is the first to demonstrate the capacity of soil minerals to humify lipids at environmental temperatures. This has important implications for understanding the role that soils play in sequestering carbon. I request you to confer the degree on Adrian Richard Adams.
Well done, congratulations. Well done.
Abiodun Oluseun Alawode, with supervisor Dr. Tioda.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, the feasibility of developing bio-based wood adhesives from natural and renewable resources was investigated. It was found that Evigia-based adhesives have comparable performance with commercial wood adhesives and can be used in the wood panel industry as potential alternatives to formaldehyde-emitting adhesives. I request you to confer the degree on Alawode.
Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Gerard François Hermanus van Ginkel Becker, met die promotor Dr. Pia Edison.
Vice-Chancellor, the aim of the study was to investigate the main geographic drivers of the distribution of Mediterranean fruit fly populations over space and time in heterogeneous fruit-producing environments. Using machine learning, these distributions of medfly were modeled, enabling more precise application of fruit fly management actions. I request you to confer the degree on Gerard Francois Hermanus van Ginkel, also known as Gulu Becker.
Baie geluk, well done.
Jean Brandt with Supervisor Dr. Helene Nieuwoud.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, traditional sensory evaluation of wine uses complex, unsustainable methods. This study optimized alternative protocols. 5 methods were tested and statistically validated on wine styles with varying levels of sensory complexity. The study contributes to a portfolio of streamlined, rapid, fit-for-purpose methods suitable as research tools and for industry evaluations. I request you to confer the degree on Jean Brandt.
Baie geluk, well done. Geluk.
Chad Crispin Cheney with Supervisor Professor Karen Esler.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, alien plants pose ongoing challenges in many protected areas, perpetuating long-term management costs, which inevitably require prioritization. 3 areas of the management decision-making framework that impact on realization of alien control outcomes were studied, with a focus on Australian acacias. The study developed methods to improve conservation outcomes without increasing operational budgets. I hereby request you to confer the degree on Crispian Chad Cheney.
Congratulations, well done.
Hubert Chenyerahi Chiwikwana with Supervisor Dr. Kletos Mapie.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, the study evaluated the potential of grape pomace, a byproduct of winemaking, as a feed supplement and meat preservative for the South African lamb industry. The findings showed that the addition of grape pomace to lamb diets improves the production and the shelf life of meat. I request you to confer the degree on Obet Chikwana.
Congratulations, well done, sir.
Philippus Ludovicus Crawford met promotor Dr. Brandt Wessels.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this study showed that an increase in timber building in the South African residential market will lead to a decrease in local primary energy use and global warming potential. Resource modeling showed that with available wood resources and limited afforestation, it will be possible to sustain a future residential building market where all constructions are wood-based. I request you to confer the degree on Philippus Ludovicus Crawford.
Baie geluk, well done.
Gerida de Groot met promotor Professor Marina Manley.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, wheat kernel hardness is an important milling and bread-making quality property. It is determined by pyrindolin alleles present in the grain. In this study, Mrs. de Groot identified pyrindolin alleles of South African wheat cultivars. She subsequently correlated these alleles with grain and flour quality. The results obtained will now enable a more efficient breeding process for bread and other wheat cultivars. I request you to confer the degree on, from now onwards, to be called Dr. Gerida de Groot.
Well done.
Marcela Paz Alejandra Espinal Pardo, all the way from Chile, with the supervisor, Professor Mathieu.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, a regional and local scale study on the endangered African penguin assessed the importance of various factors in facilitating parasite infestations and their effect on penguin health. The results of the study showed that penguin chicks in artificial nests, and especially in mainland colonies, have a greater risk of infestations and poorer health. This pattern is exacerbated by the seasonal warm drying conditions that we found around the coast and in the Western Cape province. I request on you to confer the degree on Señorita Marcela Paz Alejandra Espinosa Pardo.
Congratulations. Well done.
Jan Christoffel Greiling met promotor Professor Nick Fink.
Vice-Chancellor, we know far too little about how the impacts of agricultural policy unfold over time and over space. And the candidate was able to use a very unique data set about the South African maize industry, which covered every corner of the country and the last century. And with these analyses then to enrich our understanding of how these processes unfold over time. I request you to confer the degree on Jan Greiling.
Jan, eigenlijk.
Jan Greiling is 'n gewaardeerde kollega van die departement landbouekonomie. Volgende, Chantel Himan met promotor Professor De Beer.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, green rooibos extract was embedded in carbohydrate polymer networks to produce micro and nanoscale particles. Microparticles suitable for iced tea aimed at diabetics increase stability of aspartame, although common iced tea ingredients decrease stability. Nanoparticles containing green rooibos or pure aspartame were more stable under conditions expected in the mouth, stomach and intestines, improving their final absorbed concentration. I request you to confer the degree on Chantal Human.
Eigenlijk. Well done.
Imke Kritzinger met promotor Dr. Elmi Lotse.
A combination of moisture loss, cuticle composition and size of intercellular spaces between hypodermal cells determine the susceptibility to shrivel in plants. Dehydration of cells with large intercellular spaces causes shrinkage and the flexible cuticle collapses when the shell shrinks, leading to shriveling. The flexibility of the cuticle is determined by its composition. Ek versoek u om die graad aan Inke Kritzinger te verleen.
Linda Bandile Luvuno, with Supervisor Professor Karen Esler.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, Linda's research advances understanding of social ecological regime shifts, namely large persistent changes associated with tipping points in interconnected human-environment systems. The study focused on the example of bush encroachment in southern African savannas, mapping their occurrence, as well as conducting interviews to understand the impacts on local communities. I hereby request you to confer the degree on Linda Luvuno.
Congratulations, well done. Well done.
Marian Ellison McKay, with the Supervisor Dr. Astrid Buka.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, combinations of very low level of other compounds were added to red wine. This had unexpected effects on its aroma. This could explain some taints in red wines and may help winemakers make decisions when working with smoke-affected grapes. It shows the importance of sensory interactions in causing off flavors. I request you to confer the degree on Mrs. Marianne Allison McKay.
Well done. Congratulations.
Marian is also a colleague from the Department of Viticulture and Oenology. The next is Ziyanda Mpetile, with the Supervisor, Professor Skalk Klute.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, Ms. Petile studied breeding for resistance to gastrointestinal nematodes as a component of integrated pest management within and across sheep breeds. She showed that worm egg count served as a proxy for resistance was heritable, with derived estimates are lower in autumn and higher in spring. Interventions to maximize heritability and include resistance in national sheep evaluation were proposed. I request you to confer the degree on Zianda and Petile.
Congratulations. Right.
Francis Munalula, with Supervisor Professor Marigen Meinken.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this project assessed the response of 3 hardwood species from the Zambian Miombo woodlands to changing climatic conditions. The variation in anatomical properties was found to be greater in wood from drier sites and in wood formed in drier years. A model was developed to describe changes in anatomical properties with wood availability. I request you to confer the degree on Francis Munalula.
Well done, sir. Congratulations.
Megan Kim North, with Supervisor Professor Lou Hofman.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, flavonoids are naturally occurring bioactive compounds that may be useful in the livestock industry. Dietary quercetin improved New Zealand white rabbit hind leg meat yields and the fatty acid composition of the loin, without compromising growth, basic meat quality, or meat shelf life, suggesting that dietary quercetin supplementation could be beneficial. As an aside, Megan North is the earlier recipient of the Chancellor's Medal. I request you to confer the degree on Megan North.
Congratulations, well done.
Maria Ndakula Tautiku Shipandeni, with Supervisor Dr. Refranato.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, dairy cows during their early postpartum phase are physiologically challenged because of high risk of health-associated diseases. So, by increasing grain particle size, site of starch digestion can be partially shifted post-rumen. The technique was successfully implemented experimentally and commercially, and we were able to increase intake, milk production, and decrease health-associated risk. I request you to confer the degree on Maria Ndakula Tautiko Shipandeni.
Congratulations, well done. Well done.
Lee Amy Isabel Stein, with Supervisor Dr. Pia Edison.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, the aim of the study was to investigate a variety of control strategies to manage the Cape grapevine leaf miner in grape-producing vineyards. A variety of physical, chemical, and biological control strategies were identified and could potentially be incorporated into a management strategy to reduce pest loads in infested vineyards. I request you to confer the degree on Lee Amy Isabel Stein.
Vernon Murray Stein, with Supervisor also Dr. Pia Edison.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this study investigates the use of entomopathogens and mating disruption as alternate control methods against false codling moth. The immature stages of false codling moth were susceptible to entomopathogens, and mating disruption was effective at disorientating the male moths. The inclusion of these techniques into an integrated pest management strategy is encouraged. I request you to confer the degree on Vernon Murray Stein.
Congratulations, well done.
Etienne Louis Adrian Terblanche, with Supervisor Dr. Kobus Hunter.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this study focused on linking vineyard growth conditions and grape composition changes to the wine style of Pinotage, a native South African cultivar. It generated novel information regarding grape and wine sensory profile changes with progressive grape ripening. The producer-friendly field-to-glass findings are easily utilizable to steer wine style objectives. Ek versoek u om die graad aan meneer Terblanche te verleen.
Michaela Sanetta van der Hondert, with Supervisor Professor Pieter Gous.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, it is not only the medical field that people are concerned about antimicrobial resistant bacteria. Bacteria isolated from food-producing animals and wildlife in South Africa were found to contain multi-drug resistant species. Various factors influencing the antibiotic resistance of bacteria, namely co-grazing with livestock, the practice of wildlife supplementary feeding, and the farm's history of antibiotic use were some of the factors. It is like Louis Pasteur said, it is the bacteria that will have the last word. I request you to confer the degree on Michaela van den Hoorn.
Congratulations. Well done.
Nadia van der Kolf, met promotor Dr. Helene Nieuwoud.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, South African consumers are often unsure about their wine purchase decisions in retail. A sequential mixed methods study was conducted to explore and identify the risks that consumers perceive when buying Chenin Blanc wine. Risk-reducing strategies were proposed and a measurement instrument was developed that can be adapted to investigate other struggling wine varietals. I request you to confer the degree on Nadia van der Kolf.
Baie interessant.
Julia van Schalkwyk, with Supervisor Dr. James Pryke.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, the candidate assessed the success of biodiversity conservation of the Kogelberg Biosphere Reserve in response to increasing land use intensity. Arthropod diversity was well represented within the core areas, with more transferred buffer areas having important complementary value. This study highlights that land use intensity is important at the local scale, although non-crop habitats are essential for diversity at the landscape scale. I request that you confer the degree on Julia van Schalkwyk.
Hold on, congratulations.
Johannes Gideon van Zyl, met promotor Professor Paul Fourie.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, although it's widely used, the influence of spray adjuvants in the spray deposition of fungicides in citrus production was unknown. A previously developed spray deposition assessment protocol was improved and used to develop benchmarks indicative of biological efficacy of copper oxychloride, a fungicide, for disease control. Gideon thereafter evaluated adjuvants in orchards and demonstrated the importance of canopy management and the potential benefits of adjuvants at lower spray volumes. I request that you confer the degree on Johannes Gideon van Zyl.
Haile Adumu Wale, with Supervisor Professor Geldenhuys.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, forest managers are often challenged to sustainably manage a forest that lacks essential information. This study successfully combined common analytical tools to approximate the composition and stand dynamics in 3 less known evergreen forests in northwest Ethiopia, and provided essential basic information to guide sustainable resource use towards their conservation. I request you to confer the degree to Haile Adam Wine.
Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this brings me to the last in a series of degrees from the Faculty of Agri-Science, which is also a record haul of 46 from the 2018 academic year out of the faculty, who has also celebrated its centenary together with the university. I then request you to confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Food Science on Zaharan Hussein. Dr. Fayole will do a brief outline of the dissertation on behalf of the supervisor, Professor Linus Upara.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, pomegranates are highly susceptible to bruising during post-harvest handling, resulting in economic losses. The severity of bruising depends on the cultivar impact during handling, storage condition, and during storage duration. Knowing the impact threshold of the fruit allows for better control of the losses to the industry. I request that you confer the degree on Zahra and Jose.
Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Meneer die Visiekanselir, ek versoek u om die graad dokter in die wysbegeerte in die fakulteit Geneeskunde en Gesondheidswetenskappe aan die kandidaate wat ek aan u voorstel te verleen. Die betrokke promotors sal telkens 'n kort verklaring oor die proefskrif doen. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I request you to confer on the candidates whom I will present to you the degree Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. The supervisor concerned will give a brief outline of the dissertation. Olatunji Lesei Adito Kunbo with supervisor Professor Wesongi.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this study found that the burden of vaccine-preventable diseases remains very high among HIV-exposed children in Africa. Using current vaccination schedules, HIV-infected children are less likely to be optimally protected compared to HIV-unexposed children. This study will lead to major changes in current global vaccine recommendations for HIV-infected children. I request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Epidemiology on Olatunji Adetokunbo.
Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Amanda Alblas met promotor Dr. Friedland.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, skeletal collections provide an opportunity to observe the influence of various demographic, behavioral, and environmental variables on health status. This study aimed to macroscopically and radiologically examine 624 adult individuals from the Kirsten skeletal collection for skeletal markers. Lower socioeconomic societies and as many such South African black and coloured populations demonstrated a high prevalence of malnutrition, metabolic deficiencies, tuberculosis, and traumatic lesions compared to their white South African counterparts. Therefore, it would appear that the higher socioeconomic societies escaped overcrowding and malnutrition and exposure to pathogens. The skeletal collection is a valuable resource for future research projects in osteology and related fields. I request that you confer the degree on Amanda Aldous.
Eigenlijk wel dan.
Carina Berner met promotor Professor Lowe.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, people living with HIV now have a near normal life expectancy, but functional limitations due to the disease process and treatment remain a concern. Using 3D motion analysis, this study showed that young adults around 35 years living with HIV have walking and balance problems, resulting in a higher rate of falls compared to community controls. Carina also showed that the 5-time sit-to-stand test is the most valid community screening tool for planning early interventions. I request you to confer the degree on Carina Berner.
Marguerite Blichnout met promotor Professor Ensemble. Marguerite will be hooded by her father. Correction, partner, not father.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, Ms. Blichnout studied the impact of low ataxia telangiectasia mutated or ATM protein kinase in obesity-related heart disease. She made the novel finding that ATM associates with the inner mitochondrial membrane, where its inhibition lowers ATP synthesis and complex 1 activity. We therefore concluded, or she concluded in her PhD studies, that obesity-induced low ATM may be the cause of mitochondrial dysfunction in heart disease. I therefore request you to confer the degree on Marguerite.
Congratulations, well done.
Theodora Mildred Chikwana with supervisor Professor van Niekerk.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, adults with substance use disorders approximate 60% of readmissions at the main acute mental health units in Zimbabwe. No rehabilitation, psychosocial support, or follow-up programs are available, thereby leaving families to take on the caring role. This study examined the extent to which family involvement promoted participation in meaningful occupations by recovery adults recovering from substance disorders. Narrative interviews with 14 purposefully selected family units confirmed families' centrality in the recovery process. They identified opportunities and facilitate reconstruction of participation in health-enhancing occupations. An occupation-based framework incorporating families was developed as a sustainable approach to providing occupational therapy services. I request you to confer the degree on Theodora Mildred Chikwana.
Congratulations.
Catherine Ann Kluwer with supervisor Professor Tron.
Vice Chancellor, preeclampsia, a complication of high blood pressure and organ involvement in pregnancy, is responsible for the death of thousands of mothers and babies worldwide every year. There is no treatment. This research involved testing a possible new therapy and assessing the management options and clinical predictors of disease severity. I request you to confer the degree on Catherine Ann Kluwer.
Oluchi Julie Ezekanaga with Supervisor Professor Mbenyane.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, the aim of the study was to develop a roadmap for mainstreaming nutrition sensitivity in Anambra and Kebbi states of Nigeria. While the programs assessed were averagely nutrition sensitive, most of them had excellent potential to be highly nutrition sensitive. From these findings, a roadmap for mainstreaming nutrition sensitivity was developed, and most stakeholders, mainly government officials, agreed that the roadmap will be implementable and feasible. I request you to confer the degree on Oluchi Julie Ezekanaga.
Leanne Kotzer with Supervisor Professor Walsall.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, there is incomplete understanding of immunity against tuberculosis. Serum acute phase proteins, but not cell surface markers, had promise as diagnostics or treatment response indicators. Immunosuppressive effects of innate immune cells called myeloid-derived suppressor cells against T cells were found in tuberculosis and are potential targets for immunotherapy. I request that you confer the degree, PhD in molecular biology, on Miss Lee Ann Kotze.
Well done, congratulations.
Doreen Lowe met promotor Professor Lochner.
Meneer de Vice-Kanselier, a single-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled cognitive working memory training program was implemented in adults with a primary diagnosis of hair-pulling disorder, also known as trichotillomania. Cognitive training decreased hair-pulling severity over 5 weeks and maintained its effects after 3 months. Although experienced as an acceptable and feasible option, the cost effectiveness and underlying mechanism of the intervention need further investigation. Ik verzoek u om uw graad aan Doreen Lowe te verleen.
Well done.
Likhet Sain Yvonne Ned with Supervisor Professor Mujib.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, Diegetzing's decolonized indigenous case of narratives reveal an education system that creates forms of alienation, which give rise to various risky health behaviors. It names education as colonial and a negative social determinant of health. To center health in education, this study offers an indigenous decolonial framework
for reconstructing health-enhancing curriculum. I request you to confer the degree on Diegezen and
Well done. Congratulations. Well done.
Chioma Ogachukwu Oyajunwa with Supervisor Professor Mg.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, this study positioned within a constructivist interpretive paradigm. Chioma's study explored understanding of African indigenous spirituality and collective well-being. The study outcomes are located within subliminal, liminal, and supraliminal spaces on a continent of well-being. Contributing this thesis is building on an understanding of African indigenous transcultural spirituality to inform well-being. I request you to confer the degree to Chioma.
Congratulations. Well done.
Oluwafemi Gabriel Oluwole with Supervisor Professor Kui Wanyemi.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, in this doctoral research, Oluwafemi Oluwole identified DNA changes in Black, South African, and Nigerian Parkinson's disease patients. This study is the first collaborative genetic study on Parkinson's disease between South Africa and Nigeria, and lays the foundation for future work on genetic risk factors for Parkinson's disease in these populations. I request you to confer the degree on Olufabemi Gabriel Oluwole.
Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Darren Thomas Oistrakh with Supervisor Professor Mayer.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, our understanding of inborn defects of eye movement and alignment has expanded largely due to advances in genetics. The candidate examined 845 subjects with these rare heterogeneous genetic disorders in 5 different countries. This enabled him to design a revised classification system and verify a clinical algorithm to improve the diagnostic skills of clinicians. I request you to confer the degree on Darren Oistrakh from Canada.
Congratulations. Well done.
Stephanie Pitts with Supervisor Professor Kinnear.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, an individual's genetic composition affects his or her susceptibility to different strains of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the tuberculosis-causing bacterium. To identify genetic variants influencing this variable susceptibility, the candidate developed computational methods that uses genome-wide genetic data and found variants in chromosome 15 that increases susceptibility to TB by the East African Indian superclade in the Ghanaian population. I request you to confer the degree on Stephanie Pitts.
Well done. Congratulations.
Darcel Desiree Sco with Supervisor Professor Mash.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, this study evaluated the Healthy Choices at Work program at a commercial power plant in the Western Cape to prevent non-communicable diseases. The program focused on food supply, physical activity, risk assessment, counseling, and the leadership. The study impacted behavioral and metabolic risk factors, and lessons can be transferred to other workplaces. I request you to confer the degree on Darcel Sco.
Congratulations. Well done.
Heiko Schurz with Supervisor Professor Moller.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, the candidate's dissertation yielded 3 scientific publications, specifically highlighting strong sex-specific genetic effects in tuberculosis susceptibility across multiple populations. Globally, the incidence rate for tuberculosis in males is nearly twice as high compared to females, and the findings of this dissertation could in future help to address this imbalance. I request you to confer the degree on Heiko Schurz.
Congratulations. Well done.
Marlies Smit with Supervisor Professor Kutsia.
Meneer die fisiekanselier, autofagie is 'n metode waarmee dooie en beseerde hartweefsel opgeruim word. Die kandidaat bestudeer die manipulasie van autofagie as 'n metode om die hart te beskerm gedurende die reperfusieperiode na hartischemie. Sy wys dat vroeë manipulasie van die proses wel voordeel inhou deur die konvensionele en alternatiewe autofagiepaaie as ook geprogrammeerde seldood. Ek versoek u om die graad aan Marlies Smit te verleen.
Sybrand Engelbrecht Smit met promotor Professor Ensemble.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, Mr. Smith investigated whether a specific extract prepared from green rooibos or Aspalathus linearis may be cardioprotective. He treated animals and afterwards tested the function of the hearts, the response to simulated heart attack, as well as the mechanisms involved. The extract diminished infarct size and improved cardiac function through mainly both anti-inflammatory as well as antioxidant mechanisms. I therefore ask you to confer the degree on Sybrand Engelbrecht Smit.
Well done.
Mignon Alberta van Vieren met promotor Professor Ensemble.
Meneer de fisiekanselier, mevrou van vuren het die vermoë van hierdieselfde groen rooibos ekstrak om bloeddruk te kan verlaag getoets deur die bloeddruk van vetsugtige rotte met en sonder behandeling te monitor. Sy het bevind dat die ekstrak wel antihypertensief is, dat dit vetsug bekamp, bloedglikose verlaag, as ook die vaskulêre funksie van die diere verbeter het. Van haar resultate dui daarop dat haar moontlike SGLT2 transporter inhibisie kan wees as 'n meganisme van hierdie effekte. Ek versoek u dus om die graad aan juffrou van Vuren te
Eigenlijk, well,
Ek sal nou aan die kandidaate wat aan my voorgestel word, die onderskeie grade en diplomas verleen. I will now confer on the candidates who have presented to me the respective degrees and diplomas.
Meneer die fisiekanselier, ek versoek u om die volgende grade en diplomas in die fakulteit Agriwetenskappe te verleen. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I request you to confer the following degrees and diplomas in the Faculty of AgriSciences. Die graad Magister in Natuurwetenskappe, the degree Master of Science. Trust Chihuahua.
well done. Congratulations.
John Evan Davenport. Hendrik Pinaar Duplessis. Jerobium Marvin Julies. Amanda Kufa. Letodi Luki Hatulwe.
Congratulations. Well done.
Die graad Magister in Natuurwetenskappe cum laude. The degree Master of Science cum laude. François Dupré.
Hartelijk.
Claudia Gevers. Jenna Brian Jolivie.
Congratulations. Well done.
Stefan Lester Links.
Hartelijk. Well done.
Megan Cerise Matthews.
Congratulations. Well done.
Philip Rebel.
Well done.
Carla Snyman.
Hartelijk. Well done.
Chimwemwe Tembufiri.
Well done. Congratulations.
Rona van der Merwe.
Hartelijk.
Wynand Jacobus van Jaarsveld.
Hartelijk. Well done.
Tersia van Wyk.
Hartelijk, Tersia.
Mia Vermaak.
Hartelijk, Mia.
Devin Lance Williams.
Well done. Congratulations.
Die graad Magister in Natuurwetenskappe in Landbou, the degree Master of Science in Agriculture. Marilee Burger.
Eigenlijk.
Stefan Johan Gericke. Carla Hogendijk. Nontsebo Portia Langa.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ongani Nkosinati Ntombela.
Well done, sir.
Marlene Prinsloo.
Eigenlijk. Well done.
Clyde Shireni.
Well done, sir.
Sibongizeni Silwana.
Congratulations, well done.
Ernst Hendrik Smit. Joannet van der Merwe.
Eigenlijk, well done.
Anesme van der Vyver.
Gelukkig.
Maurits Johan Viljoen.
Eigenlijk.
Vivian George White.
Well done, sir.
Shariq Ann Williams.
Congratulations, well done.
Die graad Magister in die Natuurwetenskappe in Landbou cum laude. The degree Master of Science in Agriculture cum laude. Anushka Cameron.
Well done, Anushka.
Rita Annette Engels.
Eigenlijk, well done.
Werner Truter.
Eigenlijk, well done.
Rianko van Rooyen.
Well done.
Die graad Magister in Natuurwetenskappe in Bosbou en Houtwetenskappe, the degree Master of Science in Forestry and Wood Sciences. Johan Karel Jacobus Stefan. Trevor James van Groeningen. Francis Tinashe Shangaza.
Well done, sir.
Die graad Magister in Natuurwetenskappe in Bosbou en Houtwetenskappe, cum laude. Vuhavu Chavungwe.
Congratulations, well done.
The degree Master of Science in Conservation Ecology. Pascal Swanepoel.
Well done.
The degree Master of Science in Conservation Ecology, cum laude. Leona Isabel de Araju.
Congratulations, well done.
The degree Master of Science in Food and Nutrition Security. Mr. Vice Rector, the degree is a joint program between the Faculty of AgriSciences and Medicine and Health Sciences, and I would just like to recognize Professor Volman, on behalf of the contribution of his colleagues to students graduating from the program. Alistair Duncan Galloway. Sophia Carmel Turner. The degree Master of Food and Nutrition Security, cum laude. Glanseka Nompilu Mpanza.
Well done.
Again, the degree Master of Science in Food and Nutrition Security, cum laude. Alison Barr. Anja Lategam. The degree Master of Science in Food Science, Gaynor Adele Daniels. Carla Pretorius. Jan Singleton van As. Nicola Jean van Zyl. The degree Master of Science in Food Science, cum laude. Annika Loopse. Kia Payne. Elizabeth Musugeni Sivute.
Congratulations.
The degree Master of Philosophy. Lengani John Makamisi. Graad Honneurs Baccalaureus in Natuurwetenskappe. John Ray Marais. The postgraduate diploma in forestry and wood sciences. Angel Afilele Goldsmith. Ayanda Mfanafuti Matenjwa. Die nagraadse diploma in agronomie. Vernon Boysen. Enzel Arthur Eugene Sowell. Die graad Baccalaureus in Natuurwetenskappe in Landbou, the degree Bachelor of Sciences in Agriculture. Willem Stefanus Badenhorst. Wendy Kamrodine Bailey.
Well done, congratulations.
Marco Jean Blom. Andreas Sebastian Bloem. Damien Louis Keidel. Gert Johannes Kalitz. Sarah Roseanne Campbell.
Congratulations, well done.
Pieter Coetzee. Pierre-François Dutoy.
Well done.
Gabriel Petrus Eksteen. Lennox Fremantle. Ziyanda Precious Hadebe.
Congratulations, well done.
Zizifu Hamza.
Well done. Congratulations.
Tembelani Blessing Masikane.
Well done, sir.
Rimelda Emerencia Matiwane.
Well done. Congratulations.
Dominique Mudena.
Well done. Congratulations.
Tembisile Cynthia Mokseneng.
Congratulations. Well done.
Suleiman Patel.
Well done.
John Richard Roan van der Nest.
Well done.
The degree Bachelors of Science in Forestry and Wood Science. Francine Inkaberry.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lishan Mahadeo.
Congratulations. Well done.
Pieter Daniel van Niekerk.
Well done.
The degree Bachelor of Science in Conservation Ecology. Mitch Anwar, Africa.
Well done.
Nolumanyahu Sesona Kamaho.
Congratulations. Well done.
Matthew John Dankwerts. Sophie Katarina Fischer.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lauren Ashley Foden.
Well done.
Andrea Grobler.
Eigenlijk, Andrea.
Emma Nicole Pierce. Stephen Rink. Die graad baccalaureus in die natuurwetenskappe en voedselwetenskap, the degree Bachelor of Science in Food Science. Correction. Die graad baccalaureus in landboubestuur, the degree Bachelor of Agricultural Management. Philip Joseph Griesenbach.
Well done. Congratulations.
George Allen King.
Well done, sir.
Die graad baccalaureus in die natuurwetenskappe en voedselwetenskap, the degree Bachelor of Science in Food Science. Saline Hamlin Basson. Carl Corbett.
Well done, Carl.
Lauren Catherine Daniels.
Congratulations. Well done.
Gregory Christian Erlandsen.
Well done. Congratulations.
Lise Marie Goosen.
Well done.
Shannon Kelly van der Walt.
Well done. Congratulations.
Die graad baccalaureus in landbou, the degree Bachelor of Agriculture. Dames en here, hierdie graad word aangebied in samewerking met Elsenburg Landbou College en die kandidate het op Elsenburg klas gedraf. Dihan Blom.
Well done, sir.
Philippus Petrus Deetlips.
Philip.
Moshe Fernand Henry Galant.
Well done.
Julius Huystra.
Philip. Well done.
Marnel Lou.
Philip. Well done.
Willem Jordaan Littig.
Philip.
Jock Reinhard Muller.
Philip.
Louis Olivier.
Well done.
Rowan André Wilken.
Meneer die fisiekanselier, ek versoek u om die volgende grade en diplomas in die fakulteit Geneeskunde en Gesondheidswetenskappe te verleen. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I request you to confer the following degrees and diplomas in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. The degree Master of Science. Kim Terry Ann Adams.
Well done. Congratulations.
Emmanuel Hammer Apari.
Congratulations. Well done.
Brian Jason Bergstedt.
Well done.
Tabisa Badula.
Congratulations. Well done.
Karen DeBase.
Philip. Well done.
Rita Liesel Dreyer.
Congratulations, Philip.
Katarina Elizabeth Duplessis.
Philip.
Maureen Zikiti.
Congratulations. Well done.
Sishlepi Sibanele. Kushlasi Dlamini.
Congratulations. Well done.
Twananani Maluleke.
Congratulations. Well done.
Zinsle Charity Matsibula Mieni.
Congratulations. Well done.
Tandukazi Queenie May.
Congratulations.
Shibe Tasile Eudoxia Mshlongo.
Congratulations. Well done.
Moshlapoli Stadium Moshlapoli.
Well done, sir.
Wangani Matueng.
Well done.
Susan Niema Mukon Kole.
Congratulations, sir.
Kobile Valencia Komalo.
Congratulations. Well done.
James Christopher Frank Schmidt.
Well done.
Wiketlo Prudence Sabate.
Congratulations. Well done.
Nilisiwe Swana. Shadima Sylvia Ube.
Congratulations. Well done.
Natalie van Diemen.
Well done. Congratulations.
Olivet Varanthan.
Well done. Congratulations.
The degree Master of Science cum laude. Anel Wilhelmine Boshoff. Jordan Ron Foray. Shaista Mustafa Jaffa.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Andrea Kotza. Johan Christian Marais.
Congratulations. Well done.
Maria Elizabeth Clara Marenkowitz.
Congratulations. Well done.
Donnell Ann Miller.
Well done. Well done.
Donnell Keegan Moore.
Congratulations. Well done.
Shane Stain.
Well done. Well done.
Ansia van Kolle.
Well done.
Lois Esther Williams.
Well done. Congratulations.
The degree Master of Medicine. Nomapelo Abungu.
Congratulations. Well done.
Javed Sayed.
Well done.
The degree Master in Pathology. Jody Lee Bell.
Well done. Congratulations.
Sachi Welcome Maepe.
Well done. Congratulations.
Evelyn Rosaline van Rooyen.
Well done.
The degree Master of Philosophy. Robin Ann Adams.
Congratulations. Well done.
Indrian Govender.
Well done. Congratulations.
Kibetswe Nana Martha Masike.
Well done. Congratulations.
Polisa Aviwe Ngobozi.
Congratulations. Well done.
Kiemogetse Juliana Nkobo.
Congratulations.
Julia Noble.
Well done. Congratulations.
Adetunji Abadeji.
Well done, sir.
Moratua Susan Tamahane.
Well done. Congratulations.
Amanda Jane Went.
Congratulations.
Elvin Williams.
Well done, Elvin.
The degree Master of Philosophy cum laude. Margareta Marisa Duplessis.
Well done.
The degree Master of Occupational Therapy, Kirsty van der Vlucht.
Congratulations, well done.
The degree Master of Nursing, Adian Leon Adams.
Congratulations, well done.
Anne Beatrice Africa.
Well done.
Karen Homuth.
Congratulations.
Vulani Sharon Kubai.
Congratulations, well done.
Maleratoli Tabida Posholi.
Well done, congratulations.
Peter Jonathan Salt.
Well done.
Simon Shalonda.
Congratulations, well done.
The degree Master of Nutrition, Esther Amondi Akar.
Well done.
Laura Jane Berry.
Congratulations.
Audrey Holm.
Thanks a lot.
Bibiana Jumwa Muyaswa.
Congratulations.
Stephanie Hadron Ross.
Well done.
The degree Master of Nutrition, cum laude. Clara McCloonan. Clara will be hooded by her mother. I've got it right this time.
Well done.
The degree Master of Physiotherapy. Salima Creel.
Congratulations, well done.
Cecilia Elizabeth Lowe.
Hello.
Sean Darrell Mott.
Well done.
Solani Mayron. The degree Master of Physiotherapy, cum laude. Marissa Kutsia.
Well done.
Risa Fanseo.
Well done.
The degree Master in Speech Language Therapy. Anisha Dyer.
Well done. Congratulations.
The degree Bachelor of Science Honours. Doti Laika.
Well done. Congratulations.
Ikona Kuchle Jan.
Well done. Congratulations.
Lisa Marie Ferguson.
Well done.
Rizwana Suleiman.
Congratulations. Well done.
Nadia van Niekerk.
Hartelijk, Nadia.
The degree Bachelor of Science Honours, cum laude. Nicole Karen Brown.
Well done.
Kelly Ann Long. Rachel Peterson.
Look.
Postgraduate Diploma in Nursing. Mzukisi Kabisa.
Congratulations, well done.
Lorna Johanna Davids.
Michael.
Celeste Engelbrecht. Alison Hess. Anthony Garth LaRue. Chantal Marinas. Gloria Ntombokolo Mayimbana.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Elsha Hester Olivier. Nokwazi Choni. Nyameka Nomaluti Yeki.
Well done. Congratulations.
The Postgraduate Diploma in Nursing, cum laude. Earl Lyle Dietrich.
Well done.
Christelle Mouton.
Christian.
The Postgraduate Diploma in Adult Critical Care Nursing. Teresa Adams.
Well done.
Nolizwe Mbulawa.
Congratulations, well done.
Nositrelo Catherine Nsutu.
Well done. Congratulations.
The Postgraduate Diploma in Adult Critical Care Nursing, cum laude. LB Mazuvanchari Yakob.
Congratulations, well done.
The Postgraduate Diploma in Advanced Midwifery and Neonatal Nursing, Zoleka Angiso. Eunice Veronica Flatwell. Charlene Jonita Fortuin. Pindiwe Jack.
Well done, man.
Farron Kuhn. Nokolo Christina Mamfeguza.
Congratulations, well done.
Nombulelo Masingili.
Well done.
Agatha Ngamgom Kambu Kemdem.
Well done. Congratulations.
Sibenati Noche.
Well done. Congratulations.
Die nagraadse diploma in gevorderde verloskunde en neonatale verpleegkunde, cum laude. Annelies Mercier Demas.
Geluk.
The postgraduate diploma in advanced psychiatric nursing, Annalise Jacobs. Ignacia Olisile Modise.
Congratulations.
Zuko Seniele.
Well done, sir.
The postgraduate diploma in nursing education, Priscilla Chisanga Chitimwango.
Congratulations, well done.
Magillo Sharon Clark.
Well done.
Nkululeko Rosie Davids.
Well done, congratulations.
Gideon Gert Fourie.
Baie geluk.
Amelia Janice Grootboom.
Well done, congratulations.
Londiwe Nosipo Nzimande.
Congratulations.
Pitsi Hendrika Senama.
Well done, congratulations.
The postgraduate diploma in healthcare management, Felicity Vanezelile April.
Baie geluk, well done.
Patricia Bernadine Cupido.
Baie geluk, well done.
Nozipo Lorraine Gladler.
Well done, well done.
Portia Lindsay January.
Congratulations, well done.
Asanda Pauline Makasi.
Well done, congratulations.
Dunyiswa Mvenyeza.
Well done, congratulations.
Nomakolwa Virginia Napakade.
Congratulations, well done.
Bukelwa Rala.
Well done, congratulations.
Nelisiwe Sylvia Shange.
Congratulations, well done.
Wendy Jane Skobinski.
Well done, congratulations.
Michelle Astrid van der Linde.
Baie geluk, well done.
Ntokozo Wiseman Zoko.
Well done, congratulations.
Amina Adam.
Well done, congratulations.
Hester Blignert.
Baie geluk.
Vuiswa Olo.
Congratulations, well done.
Melanie Dankers.
Well done, geluk.
Melikaya Benjamin Gaia.
Well done, sir, congratulations.
Amanda Hansen.
Well done.
Yolanda Hendricks.
Well done.
Prudence Nondwe Matakane.
Well done.
Nomvuyo Ningiza.
Congratulations, well done.
Deirdre Poole.
Geluk.
Natasha Louise Raymond. Wezile Welcome Charlie.
Congratulations, well done.
Nagraadse diploma in gesondheidsbestuur, cum laude. Johanna Jacoba de Nabriga.
Eigenlijk.
Charleston Dreyer.
Well done.
Shelley Muscat.
Congratulations, well done.
Gideon van Tonner.
Eigenlijk. Well done.
Die grade baccalaureus in die geneeskunde en baccalaureus in die snykunde. The degrees Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Cornelius Johannes Du Plessis.
Eigenlijk.
Tandukazi Faku.
Congratulations, well done.
Afreen Hussein.
Well done. Congratulations.
Courtney Johnson.
Well done. Congratulations.
Kirsten Kingma.
Well done. Congratulations.
Pumeza Bukelwa Mkaitane.
Well done. Congratulations.
Akila Panjri.
Congratulations. Well done.
Andrea Snyders.
Well done. Congratulations.
Melissa Simone van der Westhuizen.
Eigenlijk. Well done.
Njabulo Siduduzo Bulu.
Well done. Congratulations.
The degree Bachelor of Occupational Therapy. Caroline Ashby Collier.
Congratulations.
Aisha Bibi Ibrahim.
Well done.
The degree Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy. Lauren Darian Goliath.
Well done. Congratulations.
The degree Bachelor of Science in Dietetics. Magda Jacoba de Mooi.
Well done. Congratulations.
Meneer die fisiekanselier, ek versoek u om aan die graad en diploma kandidaate wie se name ook aan die voorgelê is, maar nie hier teenwoordig is nie, die onderskeie grade en diplomas in hulle afwesigheid te verleen. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I request you to confer the degrees and diplomas on those candidates whose names have been presented to you but who could not attend in their absence.
Ek verleen die onderskeie grade en diplomas aan die kandidaate in hulle afwesigheid. I confer the respective degrees and diplomas on the candidates in their absence. Dames en here, nou dat ons al die kwalifikasies toegeken het, wil ons graag namens die universiteit 'n hartlike woord van gelukwensing rig aan ons nuwe ere-gradiatus Dr. Jan Bolan Koetsee. Julle het gehoor van sy uitnemende bydrae en dit is vir ons 'n voorreg om hom op hierdie wyse te vereer en ons hoop inderdaad sy verhaal inspireer al ons gradiate. En aan al ons gradiate inderdaad 'n hartlike woord van gelukwense met die verwerwing van julle kwalifikasie. Dit mag miskien 'n bietjie vroeg wees, maar ons hoop die kwalifikasies sal na verdere studie lei en na suksesvolle en vervullende loopbane en ook of die versterking van 'n bestaande loopbaan. I really wish to congratulate all parents, spouses, friends and family with the achievement of your loved one. And in many an instance, this support probably went hand in hand with sacrifice. But we trust that the reason for your presence here today made it all worthwhile. And I think it is most appropriate for our graduates to show their gratitude by thanking you with a round of applause. Folks, this has been a long ceremony, but before closing, I now have the pleasure to invite our graduates to join our alumni relations team in the marquee beside here for a glass of bubbly or a non-alcoholic beverage to toast your success. You will also find bottled wine from our very own Welgevellen cellar and branded SU memorabilia for sale. Ons nou die einde van die verrigtinge bereik en ek verklaar hierdie kongregasie van die Universiteit Stellenbosch as beëindig. Ek versoek u om op te staan en te bly staan totdat die akademiese proses hierdie saal verlaat het. We have now come to the end of the proceedings and I hereby declare this meeting of the congregation of the Stellenbosch University closed. Would you please rise and remain standing while the academic procession leaves the hall. Waar is ek? Hold on. Dokter. Okay. Okay, some more.